Do you think that your experience back in 1985 helped make you a better law enforcement officer as working for the sheriff's office and then at the prosecutor's office?
Okay, absolutely. And so, we could talk about some incidents that, I saw things that should not have occurred by law enforcement. And I had that comfort of reporting them where I didn't feel like, oh, I got to be silent about it. And, I guess you build a reputation. You could say is a negative one. You could say it's a positive one, but people don't do things in front of you. And, twice I had to report like officially, things I've seen that were wrong. And, one of which was criminal, and the individual, eventually, was indicted and, discharged from the, department. So it absolutely shaped me. And by the way, I still made it to the rank of captain, and the prosecutor's office does not have at the time, there was no exams that you took. You had to get appointed for your promotions. And I made it through all the ranks. And I say that if I can do it, and I wasn't nobody's, lackey, if you will. I worked, my career was, narcotics. Then I went to gangs. Then I was promoted to sergeant, and a short stint in gangs. And I went to homicide. And then I was promoted to lieutenant. And then I went back to narcotics. And then I picked up gangs again. And then eventually I had another unit called intelligence. And then we had a change in administration, and I was put in office of professional responsibility where I wrote policy. And I'm very proud of my tenure in policy. I got my agency accredited. And then I was promoted to captain, and I had the entire criminal investigation section. So my career is in some of the toughest units you can imagine, and I still managed to get promoted, and I still managed to have what I consider a successful career. And I never tolerated any kind of abuses or anything that anybody would have done that would have been against the constitutional rights of another. That was a problem for me, and I took action. So I say that because I know that, we hear officers with this blue line and silent wall and all this stuff because out of fear of retaliation, retribution. And I think you can be strong. I know I was. And there were times when this one particular person I was telling you about, when I first reported something that he did, he put it out to the law enforcement community that I was a rat. I was not to be trusted. In fact, we had a new employee who joined our unit, and he was a former state trooper. And he came in, and we got along great for like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden he wouldn't talk to me anymore. And so after a lot of other things had matured and he started to realize that this guy was problematic, he came back to me and he says, I just wanted to let you know, you wrote a memo about this guy was our supervisor. You wrote a memo about him, and the administration gave him a copy of the so-called confidential memo, and he was showing everybody. And I'm thinking, you know what? Good for them. I'm glad it's out. Mm-hmm. And I never looked back. I never had a problem. I'm not saying I'm some kind of hero. I'm just saying that you can do it, you can survive, and you can thrive. You can have a great career.
Yeah, doing the right thing is sometimes hard, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing.
It's the right thing, and it sucked. Sometimes it really wore on me. My wife would tell you a totally different story about going through some of these experiences, but the reality is that at some point I became numb to the nonsense. I had a job to do. It was a tough job, each and every unit I worked in, and I don't have any regrets, not a single one.